Welcome to Esther's Universe. It's a magical place full of authenticity, creativity, and joy. It's where anything is possible as science and spirituality come together to teach you how to step into your power and raise your vibration. So together we can heal the collective and make a positive impact on the world. If you love the pod, please share it and enjoy. Hello, my angel pie, loving it and blessing it. That's what my grandparents used to say. Actually, my poppy specifically, he still says it, but I haven't heard him say it in a long time because we're all grown up and Nanny's moved on. But he used to always say to her, my angel face, loving it and blessing it. And then he would say it to us grandkids as well. And it was so fucking cute. And it just pops into my head every now and then. And I really want to say it to people. But then I'm like, well, they don't have the context of my entire childhood and how endearing this term is. It just sounds weird. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck off. If you like it, say it, babe. And I was like, okay. Which brings me to my point for being here. I was kind of like people pleasing, but just to no one, just inside my head. Wasn't allowing myself to say the thing that would come in and fill me with joy because I thought that people might think it's weird. Do you know what I mean? So let's talk about self-worth, because it's a really big theme right now, because so many of us are moving into a very big new chapter. Like whatever it is that you're going through and whatever part of the journey you're on, it's like everything is getting a bit dialed up or a lot dialed up. And everything that's between where you're at and where you want to be is going to be coming up. And this can be fucking fun. Like, it doesn't need to be a big whole slog. Like, this is literally my full-time job, basically. I was just talking to, Sonia and I were having a chat about this very topic. And I thought, I'll bring it to the crew immediately. The reason why she and I move through the world at light speed, basically, and we achieve things that take others months in, like, days, is because we prioritize things consistently that I have never in my life seen people do to this kind of rate. I'm not even being dramatic right now. Sonia is, and I'm not saying this means that anyone's better than anyone. There's no fucking hierarchy of who I love and friends and any of that. No way. I love everyone exactly where they are. It's just like a experience that I've kind of noticed where it's I haven't seen anyone else go through so much of the inner work process so committedly and so deeply in a way that is like fun and sometimes definitely very hard, but also very easy and quick. Because there's a lot of fun in it too. It's really cool. So basically we prioritize our energy above everything else, which means that we are valuing the very thing that we live off, like our life force. We value our life force more than anything, because without our energy, what have we got? What are we doing apart from just suffering and melting away, basically? We need our energy. It's so incredibly important to prioritize it more than anything. Your energy is essentially unconditional love. That's what you vibrate at. So when you value your energy, you value yourself, right? And what is self-worth? It's worthiness. Do you feel like you're valuable? Do you feel worthy? Do you feel like you're worth XYZ? Do you value your energy? And the more you value and prioritize looking after your own energy, the better your entire life gets in every way. The better you use energy, the more efficient you are with it. And it just means that you value yourself, because what we do is we listen to ourselves, Sonia and I, we listen to our bodies really intently. We let excitement tell us when we're on the right track, and we let there's either a neutral feeling of just wait, or there's a no feeling in the body, and we listen out for these things. And I try and teach my friends this as much as I can. I feel like I'm constantly just singing this into my friends' ears on a literal daily basis, just drilling it into their subconscious to listen to their bodies. The body will tell them when to go and when to slow, and what to do, and whether each choice and thought is aligned. You know, your body is one of the most valuable communication tools. And so when you're listening to your body, you're using it as such a communication tool, you just kind of inherently want to do everything you can to make sure that your body is okay and it's happy. And you're doing this on an energetic basis and on a physical sort of 3D world basis. You're making sure that, you know, you're getting enough sleep. You're doing things that really excite you. You're looking for joy and things to be grateful for all around you in nature. And you're meditating. You're learning your own kind of energy powers. You're noticing themes as they come up in life and following them along like a breadcrumb trail, but not in a way of like searching because we think where we're at now is wrong and we have to find the right answer to get out of the bad place. Like, no, like we know where we are, whether it's uncomfortable or not, is where we're meant to be. We just calmly follow the breadcrumb trail that the universe is laying out for us to be kind of received here in our physical realm. And it's really cool. So that's how we operate. And it's absolutely wild. It's absolutely wild because, my God, we soar. We soar. And we both just want everyone else to be able to do this. So anyone who will listen, we obviously don't be annoying about it. Like, I have a podcast and you guys are choosing to be here. So thank you. But I don't know if I would, I don't go around like preaching it to people is what I'm trying to say. I just listen. And when people say something that tells me that they can't see the path in front of them and they can't feel it and all of that, I kind of try and teach them in one way or another to reconnect with themselves or their body, their energy, whatever, just by kind of, you know, I don't know, I share wisdom whenever I can, whatever. We're meant to do that. So basically, Sonia and I are in constant communication with the universe. And if there's a channel that we can't seem to tune into properly, we bounce off each other because we have both got a very bright light of awareness. It's so bright, and we don't usually have that kind of brightness shone back on us. It's like everyone is so fucking bright, right? We're all so bright. We're all made of light. So what I'm talking about, this brightness, it's almost like a torch where we can see like into other people's consciousness, that kind of thing. And so then Sonia and I, when we turn our torch onto each other, first of all, sometimes, I'm not going to lie to you guys, we have these little reactions where we're like, oh my God. It's almost like, holy shit, I'm so fucking vulnerable right now. But it's like we feel these like twangs of energy sometimes, being like, oh my God, this person's like staring their fucking torch in my eyes. And you're so grateful for it. It's just like the second it turns on you, as in like it turns to face you, it's just like, I don't know, it's this simultaneous, unconditionally loving presence and this vulnerability, which is really cool. And the more the brighter our torches get, and the more we allow each other to shine those torches on each other in a really like open and honest way, the more vulnerable we become together, the more we work through things, because we use each other as a mirror. We use each other to allow triggers to teach us things. We use each other to see what we can't see, to see our blind spots. We actively choose, and it just gets easier too. Like the more we do it, the safer we feel, the less we have that, whoa, I'm naked feeling at the start. And that's not for long, that feeling. Like, it's not for long. Anyway. I'm just wanting to explain that because, I don't know, like if you have a person in your life that you do this with, but then you find like sometimes they're uncomfortable, like lean into those times, like just make a commitment together to be like, we're going through this together. We're going to hold hands through life. And we're going to grow because we grow at the same kind of pace and we have the same values. So sticking together and making a conscious choice to do that through the easy times and the hard times is a really nice thing to do because it's safe. You know, she's always going in the same direction as me. We have the same values. Our ever-present directional compass is pointed in the exact same direction. So, of course, we're going to hold hands and ricochet each other across, like just poo, 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 throughout life. And, you know, we got to the point of knowing that we have the same values by spending, you know, a few years in friendship and getting to know each other. But we've been doing this pretty much since we met. We just had the same kind of goals. But now we realize it's much deeper than that. It's values. And that's brought us even closer. It's really incredible. It's really nice to have someone to explore life in this way with. So I hope that everyone has this one day. Yeah. I think this is another reason why it's so important to be yourself and to be authentic, because you find these people, you know? Which brings me back to the whole reason I came here in the first place, which was to talk about self-worth. And I went on that whole tangent about Sonia and I, you know, propelling each other through life, because it all begins with us valuing our energy, which means that we value ourselves, which means that we're getting like closer and closer and closer to our truest selves by loving ourselves in every area. And whenever there's something that stands in a frequency way between where we are and where we want to be, which is the absolute, you know, best version of ourselves that we can be, whenever we feel something kind of come up that isn't the frequency match of where we're going, we consciously choose to look at the theme that, you know, of breadcrumbs that the universe is trying to show us. And right now, the theme for us is self-worth, because our goals, especially the art tour that we're planning together, require us to be very, very comfortable with being seen. And this means, you know, like anything to do with our self-worth is going to come up. And we've been practicing this already for quite some time. Obviously, with, you know, for me, it's been like the TikTok and the podcast and just being really honest with my friends, like painfully honest to the point where I feel like I'm going to cry and vomit at the same time when I have to be so honest. It's not always that hard. Other times I just laugh and I'm like, okay, I'm finished with you being here, now leave. Please, love you. Get out. Stuff like that. Like that, just simple everyday honesty. And then also the times when I have to be so deeply, like, vulnerably honest. So Sonia and I have been working on, like, not people pleasing for, again, quite some time. And I've been working on loving my physical body for probably like the last, feels like 10 years of going through like this inner tug of war between, oh my God, just I used to hate myself so much. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I literally, like, every day I would look in the mirror and be disgusted. And I would be so pissed off with myself for not being normal. I'd be so off it that, like, I'm, like, really sweaty and just have, like, a slightly weird face or a boring face or, like, stretch marks after having my kid or whatever. I only had the stretch mark thing for a few years. That went away pretty early, actually. I got to acceptance with that pretty quickly in life, which was cool. But everything else, I remember waking up, like, in my mid-20s, just thinking about how shit I was. And then I would spend the day on the internet looking at everyone else be so amazing. And I was like, why am I so shit and everyone else is so amazing? They're all super hot and super comfortable, super confident, like, am I doomed to a life of mediocrity because of my shit body and weird nature? Like, I fucking couldn't stop thinking about it. I would cry putting outfits on because I just hated myself. And I can't believe how far I've come now. Like, I had this realization, I went through the body positive movement. I was like trying to be more body positive. And then I was like, that seems odd. I don't know. It didn't feel quite right. So I was like, I'm just going to be neutral. I'm just going to fucking nourish my body and look after it and just try and love it for exactly what it is. And that felt more right. It felt, I don't know, aligned. And then I went down that road, and like along that road, I realized that there are so many more important things in the world than what I think others think of what I look like and who I am. Like how boring. I don't know, I kind of just got bored of myself. I was just like, I'm sorry, you have this like amazing creative head and you spend your days thinking about how fucking ugly you are just because you were told from a very young age in magazines and everything that people are supposed to look a certain way and not have pores and be completely normal and completely feminine and completely perfect, and you're not, so you're the only one who's gross. You know what I mean? Like, that's what was just flying around. It's just so bizarre. And now that's mostly gone. I realized that it was more important to think about things that I'm grateful for and to think about the next creative pursuits and to use my imagination in a fun, creative way and to understand my privilege and my place in the world so that I can actually be of service of it. And these things just all mean so much more to me than how I think that others perceive me. So if I want to be seen by a lot of people and achieve all of my goals and dreams, like if you've been listening for a while, you know what they all are. They're big and I want to achieve them and I want to be so good at them just by loving them so much. Like I just want to have the best time by doing all of these things. That to me will be success, is me having fun. So that's what I'm aiming at. And to have that kind of carefree fun and make a giant ripple, a tidal wave of change in the world in a really good, positive way, helping people come back to themselves, that's going to require me being completely comfortable being seen, completely. And so I've been practicing being seen for a very long time, a year. I say a very long time. It's been a year. It's been amazing. It's been one of the funnest journeys. So fun. I'm putting information into the app, like the Theta app, about this. It's the course, if you're in the app, it's the course called Step Into the Light. So far I've just got making content with purpose and how to start a podcast in there, but I'm going to put a lot more of like this process, how I got out into like I got past myself. I stopped limiting myself. I'm going to put a whole chunk of that in there. But anyway, back to the main point. If we want to have the lives that we actually want, there's going to be a huge element of self-acceptance in there. And it runs deep. Like, yes, we absolutely have the capacity to go, I choose to accept myself right now and forevermore, and switch into that. We actually can. It's just that we're so like in our heads that we don't understand how to do it because it's kind of like a body thing. It's a mind, body, soul thing. You've got to be aligned and have the ability to be in your body and feel safe in your body and listen to your body, which means that you've got to prioritize your energy, which means you're prioritizing yourself, which means you're bringing love to yourself, blah, blah, blah. So it kind of just feels like it runs deep, even though it's actually at the core of it, energetically, very easy to change. Like really, to change our frequency is just a matter of choosing to feel a different way energetically in our bodies. It's that simple. Like if I'm like, okay, my future is vibrating at this frequency. I've been to this frequency a bunch of times in meditations and moments when I've just felt such extreme like joy and gratitude, and I've been like, oh my God, everything's working out. Like, and then I go, I want to hold that frequency. And holding it means feeling it in your body as often as humanly possible, because when I do, I'm going to be a vibrational match with the reality that I'm calling in. And it's also important to not think that it's anything ahead of you that you're kind of like moving towards. Rather, it's something you want to vibrate at. So when I talk about being on a journey and on a path and everything, I'm starting to think that that gives a very like linear sense. And we need to see things like less linear, more stacked. So it's like I'm vibrating at this frequency, and then I'm just going to vibrate at the frequency above it. And when I say above, it's not up or down, it's just faster. Which is why Sonia and I just zoom through the world like a couple of fucking lightning bolts. We're vibrating really fast. Anyway. So, self-worth is just accepting yourself. And accepting yourself is knowing that you're actually just vibrating, like this vibrational situation of unconditional love. You are the universe. The universe is unconditional love, and it's energy vibrating, which is what you are. So you can, aim at it and know that if you want to quantumly entangle with that, you can just shift in your body to feel that way energetically. And when I say energetically, I mean like in your physical feelings. Like, when you're excited and you're like, oh, you want to like, oh, you're like, oh my God. That feeling. Like, or if it's just that feeling of peace, like if you're just like, oh my God, I'm so anxious all the time, I've got a lot of head noise, and just those moments when I feel peaceful for like 5 minutes is so incredible. Like, aim at vibrating at that level of peace all the time. You can just change it in your body. That, as I said before, can be done instantaneously, but I don't want to set this, I want to say that can happen. Try and do it for sure. I try all the time. But I want to let you know, on a realistic level, for me personally, I'm not saying this will be the same for you, but for me personally, it's been a process and of like showing up for this as like a practice that I do. There's often things that will come up and almost like fog my view of the situation. So it's like I've got to work around, not through. I've got to like understand what it is that like my ego is like veiling me from, kind of thing. And then once I understand that, I shine the light on it by seeing it and observing it. I don't judge myself. And then I'm like, okay, well, that's stupid. Doesn't align. That's not where I want to be. So I'm just gonna, once I see it, I'm like, oh, that's not the frequency of where I want to be. And then I'm like, how did I get here at this frequency, you silly goose? Like, why'd you believe the fucking ego veil, you silly willy? And then I just like change my energy. And sometimes I feel myself, sometimes like if it's a really deep one or like a really inner child thing, I'll almost have this resistance. Like I can't just change my energy. It's like, yes, I can. I've done it before 1,000,000 times. But it's just like little like, no, I don't want to. It's such a weird feeling. And it's like you gotta like almost like parent yourself in that moment and be like, what? And just like have a giggle at yourself and just be like, it's actually that easy. Quit it. Change your energy in this moment and be like, okay. And music helps. Music really helps. So if you're having a full-on funk and you're in a fucking strop of a mood, you can change it. Don't be a little bitch. Put on some music that usually jazzes you up. For me right now, it's like anything by Chapel Roan. Fucking love her. Pop music is actually so good for the soul right now. I can't. It's 10 out of 10. Highly recommend pop music. Anyway, does any of what I said make sense? Did I string any points together? Did I actually finish any sentences? Do we have the point? Self-worth. If you want to achieve all of your dreams, you got to have total love for yourself, total acceptance of yourself. You can see the things that are between you and absolutely loving yourself, and you can just notice them and then be like, how do I feel when I'm having this reaction, or when I'm thinking this thought, when I'm living by this belief? How does it feel? How do I feel? Do I feel drained? Do I feel shit? Do I feel anxious? Do I feel upset in any way? Do I feel stressed? If yes, that means look in that general direction, because something's not right. It's like, yeah, we're going to have stress come up in our lives, but does that mean we just leave the stress as it is? No. You aim at moving that stress. You aim at making the change so that you can live without stress in that area. And then as stress does, it'll just pop up in another area of life. It just means momentum. It just means move now, shift now, grow now, change now. Stress isn't bad, but living in it is. Having it pop up is not bad. That just means move. You know what I mean? Life's actually so much easier than we all thought, I swear to God. It's like no one raised us. Our parents had no idea what they were doing. Nah, some parents did. Thank goodness. Cool. Hopefully I said some things that are good. Also, I'm launching the app on the 11th of the 11th, 2024. That's in like 4 days, I think. I've got people beta testing it right now. If you are one of my beta test crew and you are listening, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone else as well for, the hype and the excitement, and also just for cheering me on this whole fucking way. Like all the people who email me and message me and comment on my videos, and even if you don't, but you just like wish me fucking well and you really like my content, thank you. You know what I mean? Thanks for the posy vibes. It's all helping a lot, and I really, really, really appreciate it. The app is going to be keeping on growing. So right now it's got a lot in it. It's got a ton to get started with. But there are sections that, are yet to come, and there are sections that I'm going to beef out a lot more as well. But there's more than enough to get started with. And I'm just going to keep adding stuff like every week at this stage until it's nice and beefy and bulky, and then I'll just keep updating it. So like as I go and I learn new things and I gain more skills, I'm going to find a way to transfer those skills onto you. It's like my favorite thing to do. Creatively go through life, figure out the whole fucking process, master it, and then give it to you. Yes. Love doing that. Love it. Anyway, cool. This was fun. Love yourself. That's the main thing. Love yourself. Love yourself. Just wake up. Wake up right now. Out of the thing you're in, just wake the fuck up and love yourself. And then when you feel resistance and stress and upset, stop. Look around. How can you move so that you can love yourself more? Value your energy. And also, if you want to sign up to my app on the 11th, I'd love to have you there. There's a 7-day free trial as well. So if you just want to be nosy and you can just cancel before the 7th day if you want, that's totally fine too. Love you. Bye.